Hari Om, my dear students. Today we are going to see about the continuation of chapter 12, arrays and structures. In the previous session, we saw the array and its types. What do you mean by array? Array is a collection of variables of the same data type. Within a single name, more than one values are stored. In this purpose, we use array. What are the types of array? Three types of array: one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. What do you mean by one-dimensional array? One-dimensional array represents the single row or in a single column. But in the two-dimensional array represents rows and columns. This is the difference between one-dimensional and two-dimensional array. And I also learned how to declare the array variables and how to initialize the value to the array variable and how to accessing the elements from the array. These are all discussed in previous session. Today we are going to see about the new concept, structure. What is the difference between structure and array? Array is a derived data type, but structure is a user defined data type. And also within a single data type, in array, more than one elements are stored. But in a structure, we use different data types and different data items are used. And also the one more difference is, in array, elements are stored in memory but not in adjacent locations. But in structure, elements are stored in adjacent location. This is the main difference between structure and array. How to declare the structure? The syntax of structure is first using the keyword struct and then give the structure name, that is user defined name, and then within the curly brace we declare the data type and member name. Within this block we use different data types and different variables, and also closing the block and then give the reference name. The reference name is optional. The reference name is used to access the variable in structure. This is an example for structure declaration. First using the keyword struct and then student is the structure name, and then within the block we give different data types. For example, roll number, long data type, age, integer data type, and then float, weight, that is floating point variable. Okay, here how to allocate the memory space. Here we see roll number is a long data type, so allocate the memory bytes 4 bytes, and then age is a integer data type, so allocate the memory space 2 bytes. If it is a dev C++ compiler, it allocate the memory space 4 bytes. Okay, weight is the floating point variable, so allocate the memory space 4 bytes. Okay, the next concept is how to declare the objects or reference name in structure. Here the Bolo and a Frank are the variables, which is like a normal variable. At the same time, if you declare the variable in a structure, that allocates the memory for that variable itself. And also you define the multiple variables of the same structure data type. Okay, here two variables are declared, that is Bolo, Frank. And also declare like that struct student name, and then within the block we declare the data type and member name, and then after the block we declare the variable, that is Bolo and Frank. Next concept is referencing structure elements. How to accessing the structure elements? What are the elements? Or the roll number, age, weight, or the elements in structure. If we access these elements, we use the operator dot. First we declare the object name and then dot operator and then member name. For example, Bolo is the object name, dot roll number is a member name, and then Bolo dot age, Bolo dot weight. And then one more example is Frank dot age, Frank dot weight, Frank dot roll number. In this way we access the elements from the structure. Next concept is anonymous structure. Anonymous structure means without give the structure name, that is named as anonymous structure. Doesn't declare the structure name. For example, struct, here structure name is not declared, so this is the anonymous structure. Doesn't give the name or tag. which is called as anonymous structure. If we access the elements from this structure, we use the reference name. For example, here reference name is student. So student.age, student.weight. This is the method for accessing the elements from the anonymous structure. The next concept is initializing structure elements. How to assign the value to the structure elements, which is like assigning values to a variable. For example, here we use the reference variable dot element, that is member name, and then equal to what kind of value you should store that variable, we give that value. For example, Balu dot roll number equal to 7,2016, and then Balu dot age equal to 18, Balu dot weight equal to 48.5. This is another method to store the values to the variable. Next concept is structure assignment. It can be assigned directly instead of assigning the value of elements individually. For example, here Makesh and Praveen have same age, weight and height. For that situation, we just copy the Makesh value to the Praveen. For example, here we see first declare the values to the variable Mahesh, and then just we declare the Praveen equal to Mahesh. These values are assigned to the variable Praveen. Okay, this is one of the method to assign the value to the variable.